Super exciting topic. Can't wait for it. Welcome back to Local SEO Tactics. This week we're going to be talking about sitemaps for your website. Not the sexiest topic in the world, but it's very important. So stay tuned. We're going to give you some quick tips on how to make this easy. And this is going to let search engines know about all the new pages that you create automatically on your website. So stay tuned and take some notes. Hey everyone. Wanted to talk to you real quick about our online review solution that we have. Like we talked before, unless you've been living in a cave, as Bob has said, you're familiar with what reviews are all about, whether it's Amazon, Yelp, Google, doing a Google search. The number of reviews, that is in the quantity, and then the rating on the review, 4.9 out of 5 stars, is just part of our decision-making process for products and services that we're going to buy. This product that we have here, Review Lead, helps you get more reviews from your customers. It's not going to make 5-star reviews out of thin air. You got to impress your customers. But what this does is it makes it so much easier for your customer to leave a review that they're going to get, you're going to get more reviews, from your current customers. So what we're finding right now is if you're getting maybe 1 out of 100 customers leaving your review, maybe at best, you're going to get 2, 3, or 5 out of those 100 customers leaving your review or more. It's kind of hard to put a number on that because it depends on your, your level of service. But people who are doing this are seeing double, triple all day long the number of reviews that they were getting as compared to before, just because the sole purpose of this product is to make it easier for those customers to leave a review. So as far as on the business end of things, what's really cool for you guys is it's going to tell you immediately when people leave your review, right? So a critical thing for online social credibility is if people leave your review, you're going to want to respond to that too. Say, hey, thanks, Susie. Really appreciated your business too.
That's a good point.
Yeah, everybody likes to see that interaction both ways. So that's the other really cool part I like to point out on this is when you get a review, it's going to send you an email alert, no matter which platform and portal that this is hooked into, and it hooks into everything from, like we say, Angie's List, again, Yelp, Facebook, and all that. And anything that you're doing right now that you get reviews on any platform, this will hook into it. And then as soon as somebody leaves your review, whether it's good or bad, right, it alerts you. So if it's a good review, you're going to want to go, give them praise back and say thanks. Everybody loves to see that. Now, if it's negative, you're going to want to take action real quick to maybe get that sucker turned around,
address it,
up to a 3 or a 4-star if you can at the very least. And time is definitely on your side when you're using a product like this. It alerts you. So that's just another quick feature I wanted to point out. There's a ton more features that we're not going to get into in this quick little spot here. But again, go out to intrix.com/reviewlead. You can read a lot more about it. We're happy to demo it for you. And I would say the most important thing is you're going to see a big blue button. This is Audit My Business. Click that button. Just tell us your phone number, address, business name. We'll do a quick audit and show you across all the platforms what kind of reviews you get and what's your current score. What are you missing? Maybe how do you stack up compared to the competitors? So you can kind of see what impact this really has. If you're unsure, do that. It's completely free. We'll give you that information, and then you can kind of take actions from there. And again, you can read all about the other great features and benefits that we're not going to get into right now on this product. So if you got 2 minutes, check it out, intrix.com/reviewlead, and I think you're going to be pretty happy you did. All right, let's get into the episode this week. Grab a pen and paper, open up your notepad, whatever you got to do, take some notes, and let's get rocking. Hey everyone, Jesse Dolan and Bob Brennan coming back at you with Local SEO Tactics. And this week we're going to get a little technical again. We're going to be talking about sitemaps for your website. Super exciting topic. Can't wait for it. No, this is going to be a pretty dry topic, but as we've said in some other episodes, take some notes. If you got to pause this, once you get home, grab a glass of wine, bottle of beer, bottle of wine, whatever it is. Take some notes. This is some stuff that you're going to want to make sure you're doing. The sitemaps are kind of like your index or your table of contents for search engines to know what pages are on your website so they can possibly get them indexed into their search engines. Last episode, if you haven't listened to it yet, we talked about Google Search Console, formerly Webmaster Tools. That's where you're going to use this sitemap. So if you haven't listened to that yet, check that episode out. It's going to tell you, where this is applicable. So this episode, we're going to kind of get into the nuts and bolts on it. Before we go too far into that, though, I'm just noticing some bling off my right-hand side here. I got to ask you about these cufflinks. I don't think I've ever seen those before. Yeah.
It's pretty fancy.
What is that?
So it's a B.
Okay.
Last name Brennan, B. Some guys use initials. I thought I'd just be. All my buddies they play hockey with, when I walk into the locker room, I'll probably be putting a headlock when I come in there. But just trying to dress it up a little bit.
No, that's cool. I didn't even notice them until just now. So So if you're listening to this on the podcast, this is like, if you didn't have a reason before, come check out the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
You got to see these things. They're pretty blingy. So
Sure. Hollywood.
anyways, back to the show. Okay, so a sitemap, there's going to be really like two main versions of your sitemap. One is called the XML sitemap. The other is going to be your HTML sitemap. Both of them very important. If I was going to give precedence one over the other, it's going to be your XML sitemap. That's the one that you're going to be submitting to Google, and it's definitely not kind of made for humans as much as a HTML sitemap may be. We're going to break both of those down real quick. How do you use them? How do you get them? What are they? How do you make them? And then what do you do with them? So first things first, if you're not using WordPress, it's definitely our favorite platform for developing and maintaining websites. And this is going to be another great example of where WordPress is so slick. So if you're using WordPress, you can use plugins, which are, it's kind of a easy way of saying like pre-coded modules or features that you can just kind of add onto your website. Much like if you have a phone or a smartphone, particularly, you can download apps, right, to make your phone do things it didn't do before. That's what plugins are for WordPress. Some are free, some you have to pay for, and some are kind of like both, just like apps that may be free for like a light version, and then you got to pay for certain pro features. With WordPress, there's a couple SEO related plugins that we would definitely recommend and that we use ourselves, that are going to allow you to generate and then produce and enable effectively these sitemaps. So the first one is called Yoast, Yoast. And I would say, I don't have an exact stat to fall back on, just kind of going off historical, but it's like the 800-pound gorilla of SEO plugins. It does a lot of other stuff, and we're going to be talking about the plugins in some future episodes here to dive deeper into this. It does a lot of other stuff beyond the XML sitemap, but the XML sitemap utility within this plugin, Yoast, is just superb. Another product that's extremely popular with everybody out there is called All-in-One SEO for WordPress. So either one of these that you choose or some other one as well, doesn't matter. We have no horse in the race. We just prefer Yoast for the usability and some other features. But all of these are going to have the ability to generate and manage an XML sitemap for your website. What you're going to want to do is make sure, because this is the table of contents, for your website, you want to decide what kind of contents you want to be displayed in that. So within a WordPress website, at least. So my example for the rest of this part is going to be talking about WordPress, but it's going to apply to any website format that you have. So you're going to have web pages, right? You're going to have probably posts within WordPress. That's kind of a different module. You have pages and posts, extremely similar, but technically different. And then you have the other main category is images or media. So you have to decide if you want to have those be in your table of contents, then be indexed by Google. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. There's other various fields that you'd see when you get into these tools for like who the author of the page was and some other details. But those are usually the main ones people are concerned about. I want my pages to be found in Google, or I want my images on my page to be found in Google, and images, particularly Google image search. So here is where you would make sure you say, yes, I want these displayed in my table of contents, your sitemap, or not. If you just leave it as default, that's fine too. Most of these come out of the box ready to go, but we always say this is your property, this is your asset. You should learn, what you're doing. Don't just blindly accept the defaults. At least take a tour of this and see what's being enabled and what's not. So this is going to generate, once you go through those settings, it's going to generate an XML sitemap, and most of them, as long as you click the button that says enable, turn on, or something to that effect, it's going to go ahead and incorporate that right into your website. Usually it's going to put a little link in the footer that says XML sitemap or sitemap or something like that, which is then a clickable link and a crawlable link for Google, which is excellent. If you didn't do anything else, that's still really good right there. But really, to get the maximum benefit out of that, you're going to want to take that link for that sitemap and plug that into your Google Search Console. And, if you're on Bing, Bing's going to have a very similar format to the Google Search Console. You're going to want to plug that in there as well. And what you're doing is you're saying, okay, Google, here you go. Here's where my sitemap is. This is the address for it. And Google's going to monitor that. And once you have that set up today, if your website has, let's say, 25 pages on it, if you go make a new page tomorrow about some new topic, it's going to automatically be added to your sitemap. Because Google's already looking at that sitemap and they know this is where I got to go to see what's on your website. The next time they crawl that sitemap, they're going to see one new page was added.
Right.
They're going to take that page, they're going to crawl it, they're going to index it, hopefully. And then that page will be able to be included in the search results. So definitely an important thing to set up, because if you're kind of following along here, this lets Google know all the pages on your website. And then automatically going forward, it lets Google know all the new pages you add to your website. That doesn't guarantee you're going to get rankings. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to get indexed. That's all kind of downstream information and decisions there. But this at least gets your horse in the race.
Right.
You know what I mean? And automatically too, which is a very important part. Makes it very, very easy for you. So there are other third-party tools if you're not using WordPress. I think it's XML. Let me see here. Yeah, XML-sitemaps.com is something that we use on non-WordPress websites. There's going to be a whole host of other ones that are similar. Again, we have no horse in the race here, just personal preference for what we've used historically. But if you just Google, XML sitemap generator or things like that, if you're not using a WordPress website, you're going to find all kinds of resources to be able to do that. And a lot of them should be free. Most of them are going to be free up to, let's say, maybe 1,000 pages or maybe even 100 pages. So depending on the size of your website, you might have to pay a few bucks a month to get a service like that, but it's still worth it.
So what part of the market does Yoast represent versus All-in-One? I mean, are they, what would you guess? I mean, you don't need, if you want to pull up, you're the stat man, but I mean.
Don't know. I don't have exact stats on that. If we wanted to go through WordPress and check the plugin downloads, I'm sure we could, but I do know that Yoast heavily markets that they are the #1 SEO plugin. So most people that I bump into and talk to, it's either tried it or you use it. It is kind of the benchmark. So
Okay.
As far as market share, I don't know percentage-wise, who's the biggest and the most popular? I would say Yoast.
Okay.
And Yoast is pretty cool in that they have, again, it's kind of like the light version is free, which is extremely powerful. It's really all 99% of you out there. That's all you're going to need is the light free version. But then they do have upgrades for, various kind of power user, type features. So, and they're extensively updating it all the time. It's just really great. This is kind of turned into Yoast promo here on my end. That's not the intent, but it's great. If you just want to start somewhere, I'd start with that. So that's your XML sitemap. That's kind of one half of the equation. That's the side that gets communicated to Google. And it's kind of more for the crawlers and the robots, if you will. Another thing that you're going to want to implement is your HTML sitemap. Again, you can do this with plugins through WordPress or go out and Google it as a third party. Most of these plugins or applications you're going to use are going to have the ability to do both one way or the other. If you're stuck and you can't figure it out yourself, we can definitely help you with that.
Oh, yeah.
Intrix.com/show. Even if we have to do something kind of custom for you, this is really easy to do. But what this does is kind of the same thing. Every page that's on your website gets added to this HTML sitemap. That also is linked down at the bottom of your website, just like the XML version is going to automatically be linked down there for all the robots and the crawlers. And this is kind of, for humans, you can kind of spider the website and crawl through there, but it's almost more like a backup or an alternative way for the robots and the crawlers to be able to crawl and potentially index your entire website. The reason you're going to want it on the bottom of every page, I'd say, but for sure at least on your home page, because what this allows, let's say if your website has 100 pages, maybe on your home page, which is one page, and then your main menu pages, if you have 7 links at the top of your home page, effectively right there, if you didn't have these sitemaps down at the bottom, if one of the spiders or the Googlebot hits your website and then crawls your website, what we mean by that is they check your website to see what pages and what content is on there for the purpose of being in their index. So they hit your home page and then they look for every link within your website that they can kind of spider, or crawl from there. So now if your home page is one page and then you only have 7 links at the top, that's 8 pages right there that your website, that's its entirety. It's going to go to those 7 pages that are linked at the top and it's going to do the same thing. Is there any new pages that are linked from these pages? And it kind of spiders out from there, right? That's kind of where it comes from, or it crawls out from there. Now, sometimes you have pages that aren't, linked through your main navigation. Could be maybe you're going after some unique landing pages. You're attacking kind of keyword variations or maybe for different cities. So we always talk about, let's say, like plumbing, for an example. If I'm talking about emergency plumbing services on my main homepage linked page, but I've got some landing pages about hot water heaters or maybe certain suburbs, and I'm just kind of making them for keywords, keyword searches to be found in Google. You might not have all of those linked in your main menu. So they would effectively be hidden if you didn't somehow link to them. That's what these do at the bottom of the page.
Okay.
It makes sure on any page that you're on, it has a navigation point to jump off and see all the pages on your website. So the XML sitemap is going to be, again, kind of more robot friendly and pretty technical. The HTML one really does serve the same purpose. It's just kind of a different way, almost a backup, if you will. And you're going to want to have both of them on there. Now, for both of these, again, no matter what plugin or app that you're using, this should kind of be on autopilot where you shouldn't have to check, I got 100 pages and it's showing 100 pages on my sitemap or things like that. If you're using the right tools, this should be very automated for you. This isn't a part of your website where you're going to want to be checking in all the time and keeping a separate spreadsheet to track this stuff. Stick with something that a lot of people are using.
Yep.
Don't be the first person to test out some new product for this stuff. Just get on board with what everybody else is doing, because this is a very basic thing once you get it set up to be up and running on your website. You're really not going to have to pay too much attention to this. That being said, it's definitely something that you want to make sure is working. If you're using the Google Search Console, if there's ever a problem with this stuff, they're going to alert you to that, or you're going to look in your dashboard on that. You're going to see that there's an error with your sitemap or something else. Things can happen.
Yeah.
Things can get glitchy. I mean, come on, we're talking about computers and internet, right? So things can get glitchy. So you're going to want to pay attention, but it's not something to worry about and really agonize over. If you are using a non-WordPress website, more of a traditional, HTML type website, this may not be as automated for you. You may have to go out there and kind of trigger your app to crawl your pages, or maybe submit some information and then download the XML file or the HTML file from them and then add it to your website and upload it. Which, if you're using an HTML website right now, that's not a foreign process to you. That's not going to scare anybody who's using that kind of a website. And again, just to reiterate, if you're on WordPress, once you set this up, it's pretty much automated. From there, you're not going to have to worry about it.
Okay, so Jess, if you don't know what these terms mean, HTML and XTML or whatever the case is, I mean, what does this mean to me? I mean, do I got to sit down and figure it out, or how do I get the answers to that?
Yeah, it's something. If you're not exactly sure what the heck to do with this, reach out to us. Quite frankly, these are things. If you kind of know what we're talking about and you're grasping it, you should be able to do it. If you're stuck, there's no sense in beating your head against the wall.
Right.
This isn't something, I'm not saying we would do this completely for free. Again, drop us a note through the show notes page, intrix.com/show. Reach out to us. If it's a quick question, an easy fix, sure, we'll help you out. We'll give you the feedback, or maybe even use it on the show as a kind of a deeper tutorial. But if it's something that it does require a little bit of service and a little bit of labor, this is not rocket science. It's going to be a quick solve for you. Don't spend an hour or two trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Or 4 hours banging your head against the wall. Right. Just reach out to us for help. So. Yeah,
because the web can be kind of the emperor has no clothes type of a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of like, yeah. It's like nobody wants to admit, hey, I don't know what he's talking about, or, oh, geez, if I could just get this question fired off.
Yeah.
Fire them off to us.
Yep.
We'll try to answer them as quickly as we can and as thoroughly. And if we don't answer it thoroughly, keep asking us again.
Right. Yeah. So, a great question. This is something that may be too technical, or just confusing. Just stop.
Yeah.
Let us help. Or if you know somebody else, it doesn't have to be us.
Sure.
WordPress particularly, you could throw a rock down the street and probably hit somebody who knows something about WordPress. So if you're stalling out, just get help from somebody. That's definitely the best answer there. So,
yep.
Well, that's about it for this week. Like I said, quick topic, a short one, but definitely a very important one. You're going to want to make sure you get it taken care of. So, again, if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Hey, this is Bob Brennan here. Just jumping in to let you know, we are offering a live site review, Facebook Live.
Yep.
And we'll be doing it here in a couple of weeks, but we just need people to submit their websites to us. Let us know what kind of problems you're having or anything specific you want us to look at.
Yeah.
And we're excited about this because this is kind of a community thing. We can all learn from each other's sites and challenges. And we didn't know this, but we've got people watching literally all over the world. So feel free to do that. Submit it to us. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll get back to you when we're gonna do the Facebook Live. It'd be nice if you're there, so as we're making comments, you can ask questions and we can dialogue back and forth on your site.
2 things: intrix.com/live. Go ahead and let us know if you're interested, and follow us, facebook.com/intrix. Hey everyone, Jesse coming back at you here. We wanted to read our review for the week. Love getting these. We just keep getting 5-star reviews. Lets us know we're on the right track. We're doing this for everybody out there to help your local business, your small business, and you letting us know that we're doing the right things. It just makes us feel great. There's no other way to say that. So, gonna read another one here this week. Let me grab my phone here. This is from Blue O2SS. I'm not sure who you are. Again, this always cracks me up, but the review says, "Thank you." It's a 5-star review. There is so much value in this podcast. Each business owner should be listening to this podcast to maximize their business presence online. Thanks for putting this together. Kind of feel like a broken record when I say that's the kind of feedback we love to get. It lets us know we're doing the right thing. And if you feel that way, hopefully there's tons of other people out there that are listening that haven't left a review, that are getting that same value and feel the same way. If you are one of those people, we would definitely like to hear from you too. Intrix.com/iTunes. It's going to bring you right to iTunes to leave a review. It's not complicated at all. Be honest. Tell us what you think. If you don't like something, let us know too.
Yeah.
But hopefully you give us a 5-star review. Tell us what you're enjoying and how we can help you out. And if you keep sending them in, we'll keep reading them.